Wow. Wow. I didn't show booby. I just showed the bra. Ha, ha, ha. Well, there you go. Congratulations, whatever your name is. Next time, tell Mom to not be so reticent.
Yeah, dump them out.
Come on, man.
Dump them out.
Up here whatsoever.
Don't worry, Mitch.
Bear with me.
Don't worry, Mitch.
Bear with me.
Tyree Gillespie is not in this year's NBA draft. So we'll get this underway. First name on screen for you guys is Mr. JB.
James Bouknight.
That is correct.
James Bouknight. There you go. I had never heard of that player before.
So I said Bouknight is book night. So it's like a book. Okay, I'll remember that.
You'll remember that for the next time he ends up getting a DWI for a Glock in one hand and chips in the other?
I mean, if he did that the first time, there's bound to be a second time.
Yeah, he's going to ratchet it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one more player you're familiar with.
Book night.
Now, what team does he play for?
I know.
I know you know, but he just had it in the Poundcake Sports break.
Carolina.
So I'm curious if he knows what team James Bouknight plays for.
I know they're
Since you just told us about him.
the Carolina Raptors.
Well, the Raptors are in Toronto, and they're playing the
so
Cavaliers
he's been kind of
tonight.
listening to the show then.
He's taking random facts and synthesizing them into something brand new. He's kind of he's hybridizing things. No, the Toronto Raptors, the Cavaliers are starting their season tonight with them up there.
It's a city in Carolina.
Charlotte.
There you go. Now,
What's the team?
Panthers.
That's
boy.
the football team.
Carolina Panthers would be the football. You just told us about this guy.
But I don't remember the
Look
exact
at your
team.
notes. We can't see you.
He's like, I don't know what I'm talking
I mean, I
about.
can
I
see
just
No,
words
I don't
come
know
out
if
of my
I
mouth.
said the team. I just said
You did. That's how I know who it is.
Oh, the Hornets. Oh, yeah, I did say the team.
Hornets.
Yeah, I did say the team.
That's
Charlotte
right.
Hornets.
Alan, sweet chili Doritos are popular because they're the only vegan flavor.
Oh, that's why they're always sold out then. That makes sense because
I wonder what makes them vegan. Like, why not make all the chips vegan?
They use whey in the seasoning
But why not do that for all Doritos?
because they won't taste like milk, like buttermilk or cheese. That's
Oh,
all
I see.
in whey
They
protein.
use actual like milk powder and
They'll
stuff?
use it. Whey enzymes are usually the most popular. They have them in Funyuns. They have them in everything.
Huh.
Check the back of your bags. Whey is in almost everything, dude.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I will go into a certain gas station and they're like, no, we don't have sweet spicy chili. I'm like, damn it. What this little redneck town? Why don't you have spicy sweet chili?
Well, check the whey on the back of the see if it's in the see if it's in the ingredients, because if it is, that might be a vegan flavor that you've got. Which reminds me, tomorrow is going to be Poundcake's next weigh-in. He's moving in the right direction.
You feeling confident, Poundcake?
No.
No, not this week?
He'll never feel confident, but I mean, if the numbers don't lie.
I know, but maintaining the weight that I had is just. I was telling Mary, it is. I have hit a wall, and it's getting really, really hard because I was explaining to my mom, eating healthy is like for rich people, like buying the food, making the food, preparing the food, and not wasting the food is all very expensive. And it's very tedious and hard.
It depends on where you go. You can go buy a pre-made salad that will not cost you $15.
There's meal delivery services. There's all kinds
I mean, meal delivery service is going to add money to your thing, but to the point of it's for rich people, it's very much not.
It is.
It's not.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Eating unhealthy is way cheaper than eating healthy.
But I'm saying
that's not what he's saying.
But I'm
eating unhealthily is cheaper, but that doesn't mean that eating healthy is expensive.
It is expensive.
It's all relative.
It's expensive, and for the money that I make and the time that I have, it's very expensive and tedious.
Listen, I didn't grow up as economically disadvantaged as you guys did, but I didn't grow up rich.
But you grew up with actual.
But I'm also talking about
discipline.
when I was a younger man or around your age or a little bit younger than that, and I had no money. I was broke all the time. I didn't get fat.
I understand, Alan, but you were raised in a different type of household. My mom was a single mother, and
But when you move out of that household, you can create your own habits.
I understand, but
I don't know that you do.
You're a product of. Sometimes it takes a long time to get out of the product that you were from.
I was hiding Twinkies in a shoebox under my bed when I was a kid.
But we didn't need
Yeah,
to.
I mean,
I wasn't a product of anything.
But at the same time, you also need to consider that you were Cody's age 22 years ago.
What's that got to do with anything?
That
I was
things are more
broker than he is now.
Things are more expensive now.
Okay.
Everything, the cost of everything has gone up. So
Okay, understood.
His rent is probably at least twice what yours was.
But what
you know,
he's
things
talking
like
about
that.
is not
Pay
because
did
of
not double.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But what I'm saying is what he's talking about is not because of inflation. He
But
was
it's
this way when
because
things.
he's not making any money,
Well.
and he has the price of everything's gone up, including produce.
But
and-
again,
Okay.
like
Yeah, he's
it's
gotta
not.
pay
It's
for
not
his
like I'm.
phone. No, he doesn't.
Okay, no, I get
do,
from that
No.
perspective, I get what you're saying.
right.
and I'm not bitching about the whole diet thing. I understand that dieting is going to take work.
But when you say
But
eating healthy is for rich people, that's
Eating-
got nothing to do with inflation.
I didn't say it had to do with inflation. I said it
No,
is
Mary
expensive.
is.
I'm saying you can't compare it to when you were 28 because that was 30 years or
No.
you know,
Expensive
20
to
years
buy.
ago.
But,
It's
but
expensive to
everything's
make and to
expensive when
keep.
you have no money. If I had no money,
Right.
things were still. It didn't matter if they cost $5 or $10. If I had no money,
If you
it didn't matter.
if you and Cody are both trying to work off of $50 a week for food, and produce cost $20 a trip when it 20 years ago, and now it costs $40 a trip.
I was living in Chicago, Illinois,
you're
where
still
everything is
working off of
crazy
the same
expensive.
amount.
I will,
money.
I will explain to you like this. It's not that I'm not buying healthy food. I'm trying to stretch the healthy food out, and that's where I'm running into trouble.
I understand because things spoil and I get
well,
it.
like for instance, like I can eat
You're drinking milk out of bags.
I
and-
can eat chicken and broccoli all day, every day, and I usually do. But the thing is, I don't have enough money to. I'm trying. If I was broke, I would just stretch that out the entire week because I can have chicken and whatever and make a meal out of it every single day. That chicken that was only supposed to be like for 2 days, I'm trying to make it into 5, and I can't. And so now I'm not getting the proper portion size I need. I'm not getting the nutrients I need. And I'm eating healthy, but it's not really doing anything for me because I'm not burning or my body's
Yeah.
not getting what it needs, so
I
it
get
doesn't
it.
necessarily lose
Then you made a
weight.
bad bet.
Okay, but also,
But-
we're working downtown now, and there's a lot of people around here that can show you how to save money on all the groceries that you need. Just got to get out there and hang out with these unhomed people.
Unhoused individuals,
Yes.
I'm
homeless
sure they-
people.
I'm sure.
Yes, and they'll show you how to find the food that you want for
Now,
free.
you will have to provide a couple of unsavory services for their assistance. Nevertheless, is there no price? Well, how do you put a price on health?
You can't, but I'm just gonna do what I can as far as
I think you should.
keto.
Again, this in no way wavers my faith in your ability to do this.
Oh, I'm going.
I don't
I'm,
think that keto's a good idea for you, by the way. I know you said that on the way in because you're like, oh, I can eat all the meat and fat and all that I want. But like things like,
That's if you're exercising a lot.
well, and things like brown rice are not a horrible grain to have and are super cheap. So if you're already thinning out meals like vegetables and chicken, if you add in a cup of rice, you're going to feel more full.
Throw some quinoa in there, homie.
Right. There's grains and things like that that are
Of course,
super
that ain't cheap though either.
Well, quinoa's not, but like a box of rice is a couple dollars. And if you cook that off, I mean, then you have rice for at least a few weeks.
but,
you
so
know.
are you
Eat it.
saying-
Here's
Or-
what you
saying
do.
Keto is not a good aspect in the money aspect, or like
In the money aspect, if you were to do keto, how do you plan on acquiring that food? Because that's all meat and fat, protein and fat.
I was probably just gonna do chicken and broccoli again.
You can't have broccoli. Broccoli's got too much carbs in it.
Here's what I th-
Vegetables are all carbs.
Here's what I think. Get that rice, like Mary said, but eat it grain by grain.
Takes longer, fills you up slower.
individual one.
Takes longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Another
Cody,
Mitch
keto
Hedberg
is
joke. Rice is great when you are really hungry and want 1,000 of something.
keto is not just eat meat. It's you have to have less than 30 grams of carbs a day. Usually, it changes person by person, but that is like nothing. 30 grams of carbs is almost impossible. Like there's carbs in chicken, there's carbs in vegetables, there's carbs in everything that you eat. So like an avocado, which is high in fat, also has carbs in it. So like even though you're eating those high fat things, you have to have like almost no carbs at all.
Or eat like what they call negative calorie vegetables.
Sure.
Like it'd be chomping on celery all day long.
Yes.
You're not going to overeat celery, but I mean, or
Yeah.
tomatoes.
I don't know that keto is going to be any easier for you. Is all I'm saying. Like
There's
look into it
laxatives.
before
You could
say
always
that.
take laxatives.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm good.
You just eat whatever you want, and then you just take laxatives and shoot it right out, and it will
Why
match
are you
perfectly with
overlooking-
the toilets here.
Why are you overlooking the obvious? Yeah, somebody else blew up the ladies.
Dude, it's so friggin' disgusting. It's so gross. How is this happening once a week that I go in and it smells like an outhouse at day 3 of a festival, and I walk in and there's overflowing with toilet paper and poop. It's so gross.
I have a bad case of diarrhea.
Let these ladies explain it to you. These Japanese ladies.
It's solid.
Well, now we're on to
Even
something.
diarrhea.
Now we're on to something. Well,
How do you not know how to use a toilet? That's my question. There's so much toilet paper in these toilets to clog them up around the poop.
My daughter, I've gotten in the habit of asking her when she leaves the bathroom, did you flush?
Kids hate flushing.
I don't know why, because I always thought they would think it was fun to watch everything go down.
My kids hate flushing.
Normally, she says yes. She goes, yes, I did. But if I didn't hear it, sometimes I'm not paying attention. If I didn't hear it, did you flush? Oh, she'll go back and flush. Now, she's 6, but adults get distracted too. Whoever's doing that might have been on the phone. You know what I mean? It's not an excuse.
There's so much toilet paper.
I understand. Here's what I think happens. I think somebody goes in there, really drops some beefy heaters in there. And then they end up, some of these people don't know how to use toilet paper, so they use like a comforter around their hand, and then they look at the bowl and they go, well, I can't flush that. It's going to overflow. I'll just walk out.
It's wild.
Because this building has people that take care of these things. People are animals. Everywhere you go, they're animals.
Mary, you have no room to complain about the way other people pronounce words. Say the word B-O-T-H. Preferably use it in a sentence. You say it like this, both.
You do?
I've been told that, yeah.
Both? Like Gary Delabate, that kind of?
I've been told that a lot, actually.
Did you
both.
say both?
And I know that I do. I say both instead of both.
Preferably use it in a sentence. You say it like this, both.
I do.
Both. Like the word bolt with an H on the end.
I really do.
So that I guess I
You
haven't
guys say
noticed
like
that.
both of my sisters?
Both?
Yeah.
Both. Well, because I said Poundcake takes L out of words and puts them in other words that don't have it. So like woof. There's a wolf chasing me, you know?
Actually, our friend Raj, who is from India, pointed that out to me a couple years ago. He was the first person who ever said anything, and he looked at me, and he was like, say that word again? And I was like, both. And he's like, did you put an L in there? And I was like, what? He goes, both. I was like, yeah, both. And he's like, no,
Both.
you're saying it wrong.
I don't know that I've noticed that until this guy got me hip to it. By the way, if it makes you feel any better, a lot of people texted me taking issue with you saying that you've only had 23 days off since August.
Okay, by the way, days off does not mean not working. That means I still come into work here, and 23 days means of me not having to do anything. So how people get 2 or 3 days a week where they have no responsibilities or they don't have to do anything, that's...
You mean including weekends?
I mean including weekends.
Gotcha.
A total, less than 6 days a month, like where I don't have to go to a meeting or do a show or book something or do a podcast or do anything.
Alan told Mary I've only had 15 days off in the last 3 months. If it makes her feel any better.
But what I'm saying is I don't mean a day off from work.
You mean period.
I mean a day where I have nothing to do.
But I think that's probably what they mean too.
Yeah, how many people have days where there's nothing to
Why
do?
am I explaining this backwards?
I don't know what you mean.
I mean like days where I can go home after work and not have to do anything.
Nights off.
Nights off or mornings off. Like, so I still work every day and I still have shows on weekends. So I've only had 20 days where I've not had something to do at night.
At night.
So I've worked here. I've done things in the morning.
Right.
And then those are like I have one day this week where I don't have to do something after work.
Nights off.
Right.
Yeah, not days off.
Not day. I don't mean like a full day where I have nothing going on. That's not what I mean.
I think that's what
that would
people
be
were,
a
yes,
lot.
Right.
That'd be twice a week. That'd be a lot. Yeah.
I think that's why people were blowing me
no,
up.
No. That's not what
I knew
meant.
what you meant, but I think they were,
I meant like in my calendar. So when I look at my calendar in my phone, I have little dots on every single day that are things I have to do that day. And that does not include going to the gym, does not include coming into work here.
Yeah.
So when there's only 8 days that don't have dots on them, that means those are the 8 days that I can actually relax after work. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Alan, food was less expensive in your old times, but you were also paid less back then.
No. I guarantee Cody's making the same that you were making when you were around then. Cody doesn't make
What do you make,
crap.
Poundcake?
Minimum wage.
What is that now?
Well, I don't. Look
We
at
pay
each-
you minimum wage?
Yes.
What is that?
I don't. I haven't looked at each individual check, but I imagine it's like eight something, less
Like
than
a
$9.
He's making like $16,000 a year.
Well, you'll be
not
happy to know that when I was 30 years ago, the minimum wage was not $8 an hour.
But $9,000 a year.
It was
Oh,
like
$9,000.
$375.
Yeah, $9,000 a year in this climate is not where it's at. So
I didn't know it was that low.
it's minimum wage, working 20 hours. Well,
But my
22
point
hours
is,
a week.
and this person's point is that minimum wage is higher than it was 30 years ago, the time that I'm talking about myself.
Yeah,
Minimum
you guys
wage
had
now
this-
is higher
You
than
were
it was.
probably making. You were
Food
probably
was
also
cheaper.
working 40 hours a week. You're probably working twice as much as he's only working 20 hours a week. He just said he made $9
Just
grand
here
last
though, but he's
year.
also working.
He's got another job.
got another job.
all the more reason where I'm like
but
sitting.
how much you making at that job?
I'm not saying
You don't have
my
to say
salary.
exactly, but you're making more than you're making here.
Yes, that's why I kept that job.
No,
'cause
understood,
That
but-
one
but-
pays more of my bills.
But
yeah.
between the two jobs, you're still poor.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Because I mean, that is just to live off of. I'm not living high off the hog here. Like that is a job to pay my bills. I pay my rent with that job. This job is more so not necessarily play money, but it's
Play money.
But like I don't even if I lost this job, it would be bad, but I wouldn't be completely out, if you understand what I'm saying. Like it's not paying my bills. So I do this job because I love this job and I want to be here. But as far as money goes, I wouldn't be able to live off the income I make here just by itself. So I have to figure something out. I have to figure out the diet for me. And I mean, I went grocery shopping with the boy just a couple days ago, as I told you, and I'm already out of the produce. Like I got bananas, ate them all. I got the carrots and the vegetables and all this stuff. They're gone already. And if they're
What
not,
about going to Walmart and buying a 5-pound bag of frozen chicken?
I got the rotisserie chicken, but the frozen.
No, like frozen chicken breasts. You cook them, prep them. It's a week.
I mean,
I
I'll
think
give it a try,
part
but-
of it is you have no interest in cooking.
No, that's not true. I can put it.
Oh.
I can put something in an oven. I don't care about that. I don't need the seasoned stuff. I don't need to do all that. I could eat it plain. If I had, I'll put it to you like this. My discipline is if I had the food. If someone told me eat this every single day for the next 2 months, I would eat that exact meal every day 2 months. I don't want to have to worry about.
Well, that's what we were kind of telling you.
Yes, but I'm getting a whole bunch of different answers, and everyone's saying it's going to have a different result. And I don't know my portion sizes. That's my thing.
Cody, what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
I went through
They're
and
very.
gave
They should be
you-
very small.
I went through and gave you every single piece of information that you need. And I gave you your caloric intake and what you're, resting, all of these things.
But
I broke it down for you.
I understand that, but
So what do you mean you don't know?
But I logged all that stuff for
Logged.
No, I logged it and all that stuff, and I wasn't. That was the weeks that I wasn't losing any weight.
Because you're not working out.
I ran.
How many times? You said you ran. You said you ran 4 times in like 6 weeks or something like that.
No, I didn't run 4 times. I think I ran 4 times in 1 week, and then I was doing like the indoor squats because I was like driving. The only free gym I have is at my morning job, so I was coming from here to my morning job and then working in that gym. So I was like, I'll just do at-home workouts. So did I modify it? Absolutely. But I didn't think it would be completely, I wouldn't lose any weight just not dieting at all. For those
But
3
then you
weeks, I
had
didn't
like
do
a
anything.
huge drop the following week.
Yeah, you had a great week last
Because
week.
I dropped my caloric intake. Like I,
Well, then that's what you got to do.
But
that's
you
what
already,
I've been
but you already
doing.
know that. That's not new information.
No, but I dropped it lower than I already
Telling
had it.
you, just take some laxatives.
I
Go
feel
on the
like
X-Lax
we
diet.
need to get a nutritionist or
No.
him with
No,
somebody.
No,
I don't want to.
he's a grown man. He'll figure it out. And if he doesn't lose the weight, then he owes you $500. This is
Right.
not
he
complicated.
doesn't have. It's great.
This is not
It's
complicated.
drama.
He knows what he has to do.
He can do
He'll
it.
figure it out for himself. And if he can't, then you'll be getting $1 a week for the next 500 weeks.
10 years.
Yes. You'll get $1 mailed to you every week, and you go,
I'm
"Oh my
long
God,
gone."
Cody Brown is still alive."
He's got his show in Tulsa.
Holy cow!
I get Venmoed $1 a week.
That's right. Listen, I wanted to mention something here that I think is amazing. It's very rare that something so amazing will fall directly into your lap. It's like a Santora family miracle
Uh-oh.
that they've released Dr. Pepper bourbon flavored soda
Oh, geez.
with no alcohol. You know, the Santora clan likes to give their
We love our
toddlers Dr. Pepper.
It's the official
And-
beverage of our family.
For the recovering alcoholic, it'll taste like bourbon, but it has, of course, no alcohol. Dr. Pepper's bourbon-flavored Fansville Reserve. Just, you know, they give it a label that looks like old-timey bourbon. For all I know, bourbon was one of the original ingredients of Dr. Pepper. I don't know that that's not true, but something to think about.
Probably like bourbon and heroin.
Bourbon and heroin, part of the original Dr. Pepper recipe. I got to take a break here. If you want to get the last word in, shoot me a text, 35192. Cavs start their season tonight in Toronto. Pre-game at 7 o'clock and a tip-off here on MMS at 7:30.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio Alter Ego 2023.
Presented by Capital One.
Alter Ego, are you ready?
Win your tickets now before you can buy them.
Win
Red Hot Chili Peppers.